Hi, I'm John Knockowich, also known as John Chip of Facebook. I wanted to talk about implant types. People have had dental implants, different types of neural implants with surgery, chip implants which are injected. They're about the size of a grain of rice. There's also a neural chip which was made by certain police departments and government agencies which were given to prisoners, which they were supposed to release when the jails were too full, that the COs can use and they can be watched through. But the thing with the chip is it's the same microsilicone processor, and it's only the size of a grain of rice, the whole chip. They were given out to inmates, then other people have bought them through the chip corporation, and the merging of the two chips has caused problems within the districts of the United States and some other places where they're using them for inmates. There's also a DNA microchip, which is gold and silver particles. It's a liquid injection. When you get back to Morgellons, there's a lot of types of Morgellons. Morgellons fibers, Morgellons organisms, Morgellons worms. There's a whole family of Morgellons. They were calling this a disease, the CDC. It's really not a disease. It's used with electronic weapons, V2K, which is voices to skull. They can be tuned into. They can be programmed, some of these chips and some of these organisms. Depending on the family of organisms and the chip types, you can do a lot of things with these things. Some can have an interface, a password. Some you can master people by making them do things, by getting into their mind and forcing them. Some of this is programmed. Some of this is programmed right through the mind, where you can program it yourself. Most masters have learned this. Lots of this stuff has passwords and different things going on with it. But some of this the government uses for electronic harassment, electronic torture, microwave weapons, and different things with organics. There's all sorts of ways of using implants. Some of these things are very dangerous, and most people shouldn't have them. I've been talking about this a long time. I know some of them are ex-prisoner implants, some of them are modified, and people have been moving around with these for about 5 years now, I've noticed. And some of the chips have edited the 2020 neural chips, and the cops and most of the FBI wouldn't even know about it because nobody's been talking about it. As far as Morgellons, these are used more to attack the body because they're organic, they're inside of the body, they're parasitic, a lot of them. Especially with a worm. I have a worm, I have a couple other implants. I had about 10 Morgellons. The cop that gave them to me wasn't supposed to give me so many. He gave me too many of them on purpose because he didn't like me. But as far as the neural chip, I don't have one of those, but other people do. And the chip, they're very cheap to buy. It's just having them programmed, which is expensive. People have been trying to make money on programming the things. As far as mind control, it's not good. People are using people as sex slaves. They've used chips to rob people. They've used them to abduct people. They've used them to get raises in their jobs and different things through mind control. But the government didn't take the time to watch all this equipment as it was working. Back in 1950, MKUltra was born in the United States. This is actually probably earlier than that. It was adopted from Adolf Hitler. They called them a master race. But you notice how everybody followed Adolf Hitler in Germany? Every word they lingered on. This equipment for MKUltra came from Germany, Nazi Germany. And the Americans and other countries, when Hitler died, they took the scientists. They never killed them. They made them work on equipment for mind control. The other thing is Adolf Hitler, when they went after him, you notice he shot himself, which means he might have been the first master, and his implant he didn't want anybody to have. So he's a wise man. He shot himself in the head just so they couldn't get the implanted device and control his country. Some of these people thought that they could get these organisms out of people, like Morgellons, and reuse them. Once they come out and they hit the air, basically they only deactivate, they die. As far as the chips, some of these chips are so small they're the size of a grain of rice. They're really no good, and they should be banned. But I know in different countries, if you look it up on the internet, you're going to see some of the clubs were giving children these chips for free, like clubbers and everything. They go there, they got their implant, and the government was sponsoring this stuff. They were getting free drinks and free admissions for a year, so many drinks a night. They could just keep going there, have the implant scanned, and get drinks. Most of these are used for mind control. Once they're under the skin, there's no battery in most of these chips. I was told that with these chips, there was actually a battery, which was one of those lithium batteries. It's not true. It's basically, once it's under the skin and implanted, magnetic fields around your body and the mechanical machinery that works with this stuff actually keeps it on. It's actually powered without a power source. Lots of this stuff is older technology. Some is very new. Now they're introducing nanobots, which doctors want to inject into people. And they're these little tiny microscopic robots, smaller than a cell, that want to operate on your body and be able to do all sorts of stuff. Some of this stuff shouldn't even be used because of the way they've been using women with masters to make them sex slaves and different things, forcing them to do things, forcing people to give money, using these chips to get people into locations to kill them. The government's decided they wanted an NWO. It was going to be 6 regions. But 5 years ago, everything from New England to Florida to all over the United States changed. People had chips for a long time. They had international frequencies, Spanish frequencies, English, Mexican frequencies, Canadian frequencies, state frequencies. All this stuff started changing when people started hacking. Now they're having major problems with most of these implants. The implants are really not good to have. Some people don't want to lose theirs because they have the ability to do things with them. They've programmed them, they've set them up, they've got their own slaves where they can do whatever they want with them. But some of the governments are going to have to do something about this equipment. It's very old and very new at the same time. Lots of this was concealed. It was supposed to be a secret society. But the introduction of the implants for the nice people that came out of prison, they kind of messed everything up because big things started around and lots of people got angry. Some people went flipping out. Some people killed people over them. The implants are really no good. Anybody that's not implanted should refuse implants. And Morgellons, those really ain't too good for your health either. I just wanted to make the video today to explain the types and what's been going on for a long time. Again, I'm John Knockowicz, John Berry Chip of Facebook. You can email me or leave me a message about this stuff. If you have an implant and you want to leave a message about it, please do.